Have you ever wanted to get rid of a part of yourself? You will hear people say things like, I just want this behavior to go away, or I just wish my inner critic would shut the hell up. The natural tendency from the right-wrong perspective is to get mad at, kick, or punish the part of ourself that is acting out of alignment. We yell at that part, want to kill that part, or get rid of that part, having judged it as bad, and therefore responsible for all of our problems. In order to transform, we must come to see that hating a part of ourself is simply perpetuating the cycle of abuse and violence. If we want peace for our children, we must first come to reside within the peace within our own consciousness. Coming into peace is an inside job. If you no longer want your outer level reality to mirror war and conflict, you must first stop the war that is going on within your own head. The only way to do this is by applying love and compassion to the parts of yourself with which you've been at war, the parts of yourself that have been stuck out in suffering. Think about it this way. The parts of your consciousness that have been disowned for whatever reason are like little children who've been locked in the dark. Imagine that you were to come upon a child who'd been trapped in a cage in a cold, dark place for many years. That child would likely be feral. The child might react to you by crying in rage, throwing a tantrum, or kicking, screaming, hissing, spitting. Would you, if you discovered such a child, respond by kicking the child while he was down, causing him to run fearfully back into his cage? No way! You wouldn't abuse that child. You're much too caring and compassionate, right? And yet, that is indeed what most of us do. What we've been programmed to do, and what has been modeled for us to do, is to berate, scold, reprimand, or punish the already abused child within our own harsh self-talk. We kick ourselves, call ourselves mean names, criticize ourselves to no end whenever one of our disowned aspects appears in our awareness. To identify the aspect in charge of doing the unsupportive self-talk, it becomes necessary to engage the support of your neutral observer. Once you're comfortably, actively observing your own thoughts and self-talk, you may begin to notice a constant stream of chatter going on underneath whatever may be currently present in your conscious attention. What is this chatter? For me, it was an ongoing stream of worry thoughts, criticism, lack thoughts, and self-doubt thoughts that were being constantly presented to me. My disowned aspects had so many personal insecurities that they just couldn't keep quiet. All of my aspects were clamoring for my attention, all at the same time, which created this chaotic barrage of fear-based thinking. In any given moment of my earlier life, my main personality, my inner people-pleaser, know-it-all perfectionist, was criticizing my every action. My sexy sin was worried about how she looked. My avoider was bogged down with feeling incapable and unworthy. My helper was busy telling me all of the things that I needed to do for everybody else to prove I was good enough. My yeller was constantly feeding me guilt and shame because no matter what I did, I would be bad, unworthy, undeserving, and basically guilty for being born. These were just several of my aspects and their personal trips that were occurring simultaneously. Living inside of my head was like having a waking nightmare. My old fear-based thought pattern went something like this. Ugh, you look terrible today. I do, don't I? That's what you get for staying up until 2 a.m. You idiot, you deserve to look like crap. You need to exercise more. What a slug. Go to the gym, do some yoga. I can't, I'm too tired. What difference would it make? I've already lost all my muscle tone. You're so stupid. You can't do anything right. You should never have stopped dancing. Well, You're such a loser. You look like shit. Look at you now. You're pathetic. Who's going to want to even talk to you? I need to go to the grocery store. You're a terrible mother. The kids need new shoes, new clothes. Oh, I don't have enough money. Don't think about money. I can't take care of my kids like they deserve. You're a terrible mother. I know, I'm a bad, awful mother who can't even support her own kids. You need a man in your life to support you. Men never support me. What kind of man would want me? I'm unlovable, unworthy, stupid piece of crap. You should cook a casserole for so-and-so who just had a baby. I don't have time to cook for anyone. You need to be a good friend. It's expected. Everybody else's needs come first. My needs aren't important. And on it went. This was just a small sample of the thoughts that would stream through my mind unchecked. Notice that there were parts speaking to me in the second person, addressing me as you, and there were parts speaking in the first person, making I statements. The parts that speak, think in terms of you are often parts that are subpersonalities that are unclaimed, that are still in the dark. And the parts that speak, think in terms of I are usually parts of the self that have been consciously identified or belong to your main personality. These parts will have an internal dialogue that it can include many different opinions and voices. What does your mind chatter sound like? How do you relate to yourself in your own thoughts when you feel challenged, when you judge that you've blown it, when you fall back into an addictive behavior, or when you act out in a way that you don't feel good about? Do you kick the part of yourself that you don't like? Are you in any way perpetuating a cycle of abuse or violence and telling yourself that it's okay to do this, to treat yourself this way somehow? Understand that there's no way to lose or get rid of a part of yourself that you do not like. However, you can change your unhealthy behaviors by liking and accepting yourself fully, bringing all of your parts into the light and creating a stronger whole. Know that inner peace is possible. I now have a calm, quiet mind with very infrequent mind chatter and long, blissful periods of utter silence between constructive thinking. If I can do it, you can do it. Say, the cycle of abuse ends with me. I am now relating to all parts of myself with loving kindness. Action step. End the internal war, coming into peace inside of yourself by learning to like and accept every part of your personality. Declaration. Cultivating peace is an inside job. I now drop all againstness towards myself and begin to view every part of myself with love and kindness. Many blessings of joy and vibrant freedom.